Hello World Army, this is Jaden from Jade's Videos, and this is Nightmare House 2017 The Seas Haunt Build Day 2. And on this haunt build, it's finally going to be the blueprints, which I know you guys have been looking forward to for a long time, and I've been looking forward to making this video for a long time. So without any further ado, we are going to get into the blueprints for Nightmare House 2017 The Seas. As most of you know, Nightmare House 2016 was called 5 Years of Fear, and that is because Nightmare House 2016 was the 5th anniversary of Nightmare House, and in my opinion, and I know a lot of you think that as well, Nightmare House 2016 was the best year. Now, every 5 years of doing Nightmare House, I'm going to do something different on the style that I do the haunt. For example, last year was the last year of just all sorts of different themes. That went on through all the first 5 years, but now I'm changing it up. For the 6th year of Nightmare House, which is going to be Nightmare House 2017 The Seas, which is this year's Nightmare House, of course, I am doing an overall theme for the whole haunt. So, that is why it's called Nightmare House 2017 The Seas. The theme is, of course, pirates. Since pirates are a pretty big thing in Halloween, and a lot of people do like pirates for Halloween and things like that, I thought it would be great to do this for this year's overall theme for the haunt. Now, not every single theme is going to have to do with pirates, but the majority will. There are a few themes that are returning from previous years and things like that, but the majority of the themes are pirate themes. So let's get right into them. First off, when you walk in, you will see the laboratory. This is a returning scene from Nightmare House 2016 because it was a very popular scene, and I know you couldn't really tell on the video footage that I took of the haunt, but this year you'll be able to tell more because I have a camera that is able to pick up very well in the dark, so I won't need a flashlight, which is what kind of ruined the POV footage of the haunt last year, is the flashlight, because it kind of made things look not as good as they do in person. But this year I have a good camera that is able to film very well in the dark, so you will be able to see full POV footage of what it's like in person. I'll do POV footage in the day, and I'll do POV footage at night, so you can get what it's like in person and what it's like when it's light out, so you can see some things better that you might not be able to see at the night part. But I'm not going to use flash this year, which is great because that kind of ruined the video last year. But in real life, the laboratory was a huge success and was one of the best scenes. It was very dark in there. All that was in there, lighting-wise, was a flickering attic light hanging from the roof and a black light. It was very dark in there and hard to see, and I think it also added to the very creepy vibe. It was also a very cool scene, and all the blood splatters on the walls and everything like that really added to it, especially with reanimated corpse greeting guests at the ending of that scene. And he his arm, when it came up, it kind of brushed up against guests a little bit, which did scare them quite a lot. And that is why the laboratory is going to be returning. The second theme is called the Haunted Schoolhouse. It is taking place of the church theme from last year called Until Death Do Us Part. Last year, the boogeyman was the preacher in Until Death Do Us Part, and he was a huge success. Little kids were crying over the boogeyman. There was only a faint light in that room coming from some candles, but that was it. All you could see was boogeyman's shadow amidst the fog. This year, the Haunted Schoolhouse is going to be a great theme. I'm hoping to have a little dividing wall, so on the other side of that wall you can look out and see the playground. The schoolhouse is supposed to have been burnt down by Jack and Janice during their taking over of the town of Nightmare, and I think it will contribute very well to this year's haunt. And I will have Boogeyman as the teacher this year, along with a lot of toys and things like that, little creepy kids in that scene. I might even get the seesaw, the teeter-totter seesaw, whatever you want to call it, made by Seasonal Visions this year, and put it on the playground part. We'll have to see. The third theme is taking place of Blood Forest last year, because Blood Forest was a cool scene, but it definitely wasn't the best. It was probably actually the least most liked scene among all the scenes in Nightmare House 2016. I didn't have high hopes for that one, but I just really wanted to do some kind of theme that had to do with vampires and werewolves. This year, this theme is a spin-off of one of the last themes from last year. One of the last themes from last year was called The End, and it was supposed to be a simulation of the end of the world to see how people would survive. This year, this theme is called Doomsday, which is going to have a lot of the same props that were in The End, but I'm hoping to have it a lot better, and it is in a different location from The End was last year. This is where the pirate parts start, which of course the whole haunt is pretty much based around pirates this year, and I forgot to mention, even in the scenes that aren't pirate related, there will be pirate type stuff in the scenes, just so it doesn't lose the pirate vibe throughout the haunt. This is the first pirate scene that guests will encounter, and it is taking place of Carnivorous Gardens from last year, and it is called the Boathouse. I think this will be a great scene. There's going to be a fisherman who's supposed to have been eaten alive by a shark, so you can imagine he's all going to be mangled up. I'm still deciding whether I will have it as an actor or a prop, but I'm leaning towards the side of a prop, because I'm going to flood that area with fog, which I think would be kind of creepy because it will make people think, they'll be wondering if it's a prop or an actor standing there on the porch. The next scene is Pirate Town, which is taking the place of Scary Christmas. This is going to be the center of all the pirate parts in the whole haunt. This part, there's going to be pirates sitting on the roof drinking rum, a few props that I already made for it, which is one that is a pirate drinking rum, which I will make a build on hopefully tomorrow. And a lot of just rum-drinking pirates. They're supposed to be burning down the town, kind of as a little hint toward Pirates of the Caribbean at Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom in Disneyland. They're supposed to be burning down the town center, which is where you are in this scene, and I think it's going to turn out really well. A little break from the pirate themes, but it's still kind of tropical-like, so it still kind of fits in with the pirate-type theme overall. Rabid Zoo. There's going to be cages with rabid animals, and I'm going to have Cerberus in this scene, maybe some zombie animals and skeleton animals, and I am going to make, and this is taking place of the die-in, I forgot to mention, and I am going to make maybe a creepy tiger or something, or some rabid animals ripping some people apart. The next scene, which is taking place of Shipwreck Island, which was Pirates Cove last year, is the ghost ship. Guests are going to go next to a big pirate ship built out of wood, most likely. And it's going to be firing cannons off, and it is going to be the ghost ship. And I think this is going to be a really cool scene. I cannot wait to see how this one turns out. The next scene, which will be taking place of Hex Family Cemetery from last year, is Davy Jones' locker. Now, of course, this is another pirate scene. It might have tombstones and things like that, since Davy Jones' locker is kind of the underworld of pirate lore, but I do feel like the cemetery this year is going to just be outside the haunt. So I'm not 100% sure what will be in this theme this year, but I'm pretty excited to see how it turns out. I might even have the Kraken in there. The next scene is the Haunted Mansion, which is returning for its 6th year. The Haunted Mansion doesn't need much explaining since it has been around for all 6 years of Nightmare House. You guys already know the deal about the Haunted Mansion. A great scene, and I personally like it. A new scene, which is taking place of Creepy Carnival from last year and a few years before that, is Creepy Carnival Freak Show. This is a freak show that's inside the Creepy Carnival. I hope to have some werewolves and stuff in there, since they're like half wolf, half human. They can be considered freaks, and a lot of clowns, of course, and some freaky, like, two-headed people, or I don't really know exactly everything that's going in there, but I do think it will be cool. The next scene is going back into pirate stuff. This one is called The Deep. This scene is taking place of the Gates of Hell from last year and 2015. This is going to take guests underwater. They will see coral reefs and a big shipwreck, and possibly some sharks and other sea animals, and maybe some deep sea creatures that I make up myself. But there's going to be a lot of sea monsters and creepy skeletons and killer sharks with blood dripping from their mouths in this scene, and I think it's going to be awesome. Returning for yet another year is Dark Harvest Field of Screams. Doesn't need much explaining because it is returning. Island of the Headhunters is returning for its second year, and this year I am considering it a pirate theme, since headhunters do live in the same area that pirates do. So this is a part of the pirate themes in the haunt. It's going to be a lot like last year, maybe with some added things, and maybe some pirates and headhunters fighting. Maybe that would be pretty cool. The next scene is the Voodoo Swamp, which I'm also considering a pirate theme since swamps are around the area that pirates are. Of course, not much explaining because it is a returning scene. This one is one of my favorites. This one is the lighthouse. Guests are going to go, this area is going to be flooded with fog, so I will have an actor in here for sure. You guests will hardly be able to see besides a giant lighthouse that I'm going to build that's probably going to be as big as the volcano that was in Island of the Headhunters last year, and it's going to have a light that goes around and around, and I'm going to have a foghorn going off in that scene too, with maybe some skeletons and stuff all around. It's pretty much a haunted lighthouse. And the final scene is the shipwreck. This shipwreck is supposed to have been wrecked on the lighthouse. I think this is going to be an awesome scene. I'm going to recreate the scene from Pirates of the Caribbean with the skeleton at the helm of the ship turning the ship wheel, because that should be pretty easy to do, because I do know how I am going to recreate that, and I already have the motor that I'm going to use. But this is going to be an awesome scene. So that about does it for the second build day of Nightmare House 2017, The Seas. I am extremely excited for the haunt this year, and in my opinion, I hope that it is going to be the best year, because it is going to be much scarier than any of the other years. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will be buying new supplies this weekend, hopefully, to make more props, so a lot of builds coming very soon your way. Keep howling at the moon, my werewolves. Please comment, rate, and subscribe.